they're going to answer some of your questions. If you do have a question, please don't do your regular chaotic, just scream and yell. Just put your hand up and I'll point to you.
Okay, so everyone hear me fine? You're good? Just to clarify, yes, that is my dad. He is, I guess you could call him the CEO of the company. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming back again this year. It was great to have you last year, and it's great to have you again this year. Hopefully that we had this talk last year, and I think we followed through with almost all of our promises as well. We installed 2 new Zampiro rides, we did the theming in the front entrance, and we've done a lot of renovations to the building as well. And we're excited, we're on pace now. I think we're pretty much hitting all of our targets right now to be on schedule for this season. And I'm going to go over a few things right now as to what we're doing this season. Do you have a question, or just stretching? This building, well, that's a complicated question, but this facility started in 1987, 1988, and then there's been a lot of additions on this building from that point. Four major additions since 88. Alrighty, so let's start off on the topic of our history. This is our 100th anniversary as a company this year. In those 100 years, we've been all 100% within the confines of Oshawa. If you visited our website at nebsfarmworld.com and go under About Us, I did a little information over the years about the different locations around Oshawa. There was 2 locations downtown Oshawa. There was a location in the basement of the Oshawa Center, and then a location here as well. So I'm always adding to it as well, trying to find some more photos and things like that. As you know, it's kind of trying to find photos from the 20s and 30s and 40s has been very difficult to do, and the city lost a lot of records over those years as well, so it's been a little bit of a difficult go. So let's start off as to what we've launched so far this year. So one thing we've been really happy with is that we launched mobile ordering about a month ago inside the building. Coming out of COVID, we did a lane reservations and birthday party reservations online. And we wanted to go a little bit further with this. So our first try, this is our phase 1 mobile ordering. When you place a food order, right now you can pay for everything online, get your food ready, and it's up for pickup. So we wanted to launch it really basic, and it's been working extremely well. And we may make this a little bit more feature rich in the future, where you can scan it at your table and possibly delivery and stuff like that. Expanding to that level of integration in the business does require a lot more overhead, so we will take it one step at a time and go from there. Perhaps the best first steps might be bowling lane mobile delivery, and then go from there, and then migrate maybe to the lounge area or to a riser. But
I just like how the first thing you're talking about with this face is food.
Yeah,
No, you're supposed to, right?
You kick off with talking food? Yeah, it's great.
awesome. It's rides and everything are great, but it's we feel really strongly that it's the integration of everything. It's the NEB'S experience here. Like when you go to a theme park, let's talk some of the big boys that are more theme park. So you got like your Disney or Universal and stuff like that. When you're going to Disney, you don't really say you're going to Disney to ride a roller coaster, although you might, right? You're just excited to go to Disney. So that's the kind of mindset that we want to accomplish here, and it's every little detail that brings you to that level. So that's why we believe stuff like this, stuff like mobile ordering, are the things that are going to fundamentally get us to that time where people want to go and have a good time. Like, oh, let's just go to NEB'S. When you get there, you kind of figure out what you're going to do, right? Theming. So you saw everyone came in. You saw our first phase of our entry portal. Phase 2 of the entry portal is actually, we were working on delivery schedules this morning actually, and I think we'll be receiving our next round of theming sometime in May. Haven't figured out the week yet. This theme is going to be where you walk in there when you're going down the ramp. That entire facade on the going down the ramp will be also like the town wrap around this corner as well. We've got some signage and everything like that. If you looked at the signage on it, there's some Easter eggs too. There's a sign for Tom, my dad, there's one for myself, my sister, his dad, my mother. Right there, that's his mom. This one's going to be Rita's reading room. So one of the businesses is going to be like library/reading room. So there's going to be some little Easter eggs there, which we like putting in all over the place. And we'll do little things too, where eventually we'll hook up some electricity, put some lights into there, the windows, things like that. Just kind of have some imagination, right? Let's go to, so here's some more photos of the theming that's coming in. So it doesn't look as good when it's just in pieces on a pallet, but those are all concrete. All the theming in here, but those are massive.
24 tons coming.
24 tons coming. I'm not sure if it's going to be 3 or 4 tractor trailer loads coming. And it's going to be coming from BC, so it's going to drive all the way across. So we had to wait till May because if you're driving, depending on what kind of vehicle you're using, the salt, we don't want the salt to damage the theming when it's been transported. So kind of have to wait for the weather to let out to make sure that we're not going to get any flash storms where we're going to get salt all over this stuff.
Those sections you see.
So I mentioned this briefly last year. We are working with Triotech out of Montreal. And this is going to be manufacturing in partnership with their sister company in France. And it's going to be Superfly. That's what they call it. When dealing with a French company, sometimes their naming conventions don't really translate 100% well. So the name's still a work in progress. So I put in brackets Mansion Theater, and that'll make sense in a little bit more. But Superfly is an industry first innovative experience. It's a stand-up motion platform. Just copied from the website. It's a rich multi-sensory attraction with a wide range of effects for immersive ride or flyer journey. So the idea is it's a stand-up platform where when you're standing on it, you'll see it right there. It's 2x2s. It'll be a 3D attraction. The platform will move. There'll be wind effects. There'll be water. There'll be smell effects. It's a full kind of thing. And the screen in front of there is going to be 30 feet wide by 20 feet high, and it's going to be able to host about 46 people. The content will be interchangeable, so I can change your content based on seasonality as well. So I could have like Halloween, Christmas movies, or then we can have just like a regular flyer for regular times of the year. We're really excited about it. Order this. So we are building this in the second story of our attractions room. If you went down already, you might see some random posts already magically coming out of the ground. There's a few more posts that have to go up. 10 more posts. We've already started digging the holes. If you see some carpet on the ground, that's actually where the posts are going. We've already drilled the holes. We'll be pulling them out next week and actually putting in 10 more posts next week. And then we'll start actually building the floor in a couple weeks after that. So we're pretty far down the road already. There's also this attraction going to be in the second story, but it's going to be fully accessible as well. We're going to have an elevator, a staircase, everything. And we're really excited about that as well. Now this attraction is great, but if you're building this on a second level, things like that, this isn't really an attraction that's going to drive megatons of people by. So this isn't the only thing going up on that second level. If we're building all this infrastructure, we're going to get a lot more. In a perfect world, this probably would have came second or third, but with our partnership with Triotech, they really wanted us to get it, so we told them we'll put it in first, and we'll build our quote-unquote anchor attractions around it. So, I think you guys will be the first ones that we share this with. I don't know if you've told anybody. So, coming next year, we're working with Creative Works, and we've already pretty far down the road on this. And we are putting in a mansion laser tag. So, before I go into the laser tag and explain what it is and go into a bit more detail about it, this second level, that's the outside of the building right here, and over here is the mansion theater that's going right there. So the premise is that the entire building structure is going to be a mansion. So the theater is going to be a mansion theater, and the laser tag is going to be the mansion laser tag arena. Again, the names are still kind of a work in progress. It's kind of tough when it comes to laser tag because you need name recognition of the attraction, but then you also want to convey how it's different. So struggling a little bit with that, but it's just naming. But the idea is when you walk down, we have all that amazing theming in the front entrance, and when you're looking up in the far corner, there's going to be a mansion up there. So the entire thing is just going to be a mansion that kind of draws you down. So the laser tag is going to be fully themed. It's going to be a 2-story laser tag, but technically the laser tag will start on the 2nd story. So it's going to be pretty wow. These are going to be the staircases inside the mansion. We're going to decorate all their back building chandeliers in-house for the laser tag arena. I don't have any of the mock-ups right now. We actually have a meeting next week going over some more of the creative work inside the building for the theater. For the laser tag. We are going to do something a little bit different here where we're going to do, we have our briefing room. You're going to come in here to your vesting room, but we want this to be a story-driven attraction as well. On the side here, there's going to be monitors in there where we're going to have like a launch room where the storytelling is going to start inside there. We're going to start off with a video, see if people like it, and again, trying to tie our business into seasonality more. Maybe these videos at the launch room can change when it's Christmas or Halloween and things like that. And that kind of get a different feel inside the arena for the time of year. 8,000 square feet. It's going to be 42 players at a minimum. It might be 48 vests. Depending on how much of the theme eats into the square footage of the attraction will determine the final amount of vests on there. But it's going to be a substantial laser tag arena. And we're really excited about that. And plans are underway for this. So next year at this time, we should be, it'll make a lot, you'll see a lot more of the stuff happening. The theater should all be running, and the building for that laser tag should be done. It's too early to tell the time frame. Things happen. I learned my lesson before from announcing stuff too early. So I'm not commenting on any concrete dates at this time. So that's it for what I'm willing to show on that part. We have a lot more stuff we want to do for the company. We talked before about putting in the roller coaster, so we go back and forth if we get rid of the Milo coaster and replace it with another coaster that's twice as big. That building where the coaster is, it needs some love. So we need to fix it up. So when we fix it up, we tear it down, probably build it back bigger and better than before. So if we're going to build it bigger, we need something bigger to go inside of it. So we keep going back and forth, and we move the Milo coaster and keep it inside the building and put a second coaster in, or do we not do that and then put in a new coaster and get rid of the Milo coaster and then put in some other smaller attractions?
I can speak on the building for a minute.
Sure.
Jeff alluded to the building on the extreme west end where the coaster is now. That building we have contracted already, and we have a permit with the city to make that building the same as the main building. So at the corner, you might have noticed there is a Himalaya ride up there. It cannot work in its current iteration. There's a small section of mezzanine there currently, which will be part of Mansion Theater, Mansion Adventure. They're going to link together. That way the elevator will enable us to get up to that top floor. So this summer, we don't know if this will happen because we have to deal with governments, bureaucrats. So what should have happened last October, we're now trying to get now. And what we'll have to do this summer, we hope, is to dig the foundations on the north and south side of it, approximately 1 foot further to the south, 1 foot further to the north. Then we'll have the foundation. Then the following spring, we can erect the frame up and over the existing building and then eat it like a kid eating a peanut butter sandwich from the inside out and take it all down. At that time, we're going to have to decide, we're looking at the SBF Visa 5.0. It's twice as tall as the current coaster, a little more than twice as tall as the current coaster. And of course, a taller building would give us that. The current building is 24.5 feet tall. The building that will go on top, which is a wedge style as opposed to an A-frame, it will be over 40 feet at one end and tapering down to the maximum height that the current one is. So it's substantially more, that whole top floor will be able to be used. So at the extreme west end and turn north to south, we would put in SBF Visa 5.0. What's on the docket is we'll have enough room to keep the current coaster or decide to put something else in. Maybe with a little help from you guys, we could come up with an idea or two, but honestly, no idea. But we're thinking about it. Yes?
Are you guys, since I know you guys are at no competition, since Bowmanville Gold Raceway
Because
opened
you haven't
up?
paid taxes, huh?
No, I went in there and I was like, NEBs is more fun, but there is rumors they're looking into getting a coaster. So would that put you at competition? It wouldn't for us, we pick you, but
I hope you pick them and us and everyone else and enjoy coasters wherever you can.
You just
But we're going to do such an awesome job.
That's right.
You're going to pick us first and then go see the other
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
And then come back and see us. So I think the more coasters we have, the more fun we can have, the more enthusiastic we can be about what we do. So I fully endorse them putting in more because more is more.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass this back to Jeff, but we're pretty passionate about what we do here, and I hope in the next few years, all of the lighting situation you see down there, we call that the cleaning lights. Just like this room has cleaning lights, we turn it down so that we can have the theming. You can't have magic without cool lights. Just the way it is. So when we put in Mansion Theater, Mansion Adventures, shortly thereafter, we're going to put in a train that goes around the whole area. Part of that train really allows us to light the train with lanterns and stuff like that to fully immerse ourselves in the theming that we're looking to have. So when you come in, we're going to turn every one of you into 10-year-olds. You're going to feel like
Hold on, Tom. We've already decided we've already decided, just keep calm.
easy, bro, easy.
We're already upstairs on the coaster and Johnson came out. We are basically a bunch of children. I said, of course we're a bunch of freaking children. You've never seen a group of adults run towards a kiddie coaster. And see us run towards 2 hours out of our way on a trip between Cedar Point and Kennywood to hit every kiddie coaster along the way. God-forsaken fruit farm in the middle of
Somebody's got to do
nowhere.
it.
That was the best
We've
thing
done it
ever.
all. It's great.
I firmly believe that anyone says they're an adult is lying to their inner child.
there we go.
I guess you're right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he did quickly touch on the train. I wasn't going to touch on that because things could change, but we have been actively, if you looked at the theming in the front entrance and things like that, so the theming in the front entrance has a big hole in it, right? So next time when you're walking down there, take a look at that theming. That is a passageway for a train. So it is been in the plans for a few years now, and we are working towards that. When we got rid of go-karts, everyone's like, you got rid of go-karts for mini golf. No, we got rid of go-karts for this bigger vision, and this bigger vision takes 5 to 8 years to do. And go-karts wasn't allowing us to be creative enough and to bring this to the next level that we really wanted to. We think in the next 12 months, the general public will start to realize what the bigger vision is. Yeah, and then in the next 2 to 3 years, I think they'll really start to get the idea. We knew it was a leap of faith to do it, but we know that is the right thing to do, and yeah, that's it. So anyone got any questions?
Can you talk a little bit about the mini golf and how that was done? Because it's fully automated on what you did, and I know why you spoke about how that was set up to build from.
Yeah, for sure. So mini golf, first of all, the theming in the front entrance and the mini golf was all done by our theming company that we work with in British Columbia called Imagination Corporation. The entire course inside the theming was built in-house. We poured the concrete, we laid the carpets, we ran all the wiring, and we developed all the software to run the mini golf. The mini golf is 3 6-hole courses. The reason is that if you're with a 4 or 6-year-old, 18 holes is just way too much, right? And every course you go to, you're just kind of always trapped in 18 holes, and you got an hour of your time tied into it. This is like, you do 6 holes this time, next time we come, we'll do another 6, you know what I mean? Gives you the flexibility to do what you want, right? Without having to dedicate the time and the money to it. So we thought it was a good process. The problem is that when you do 3 6-hole courses, how do you manage it? It's like a nightmare. Because if you sell at the front counter, you come down there, it's really hard to keep track of who bought what for what course and when they finish. So what we did was we developed our own scoring system for it. You'll see some places in the UK, United States popping up where they're trying to see it as like a high-tech mini golf where it's like completely self-serve or you got automated points. And what we did we did a hybrid approach where it's an automated scorecard, right? A digital scorecard, sorry, a better way of saying it. So when you're going around, you just use our devices as your scorecard. Fundamentally, when we're doing our research, we're going around places and interacting with their digital scorecards. And everyone wants to give you a digital scorecard on your phone. And what happens is I end up getting in trouble most of the time because I'm playing with the kids, and I'm on my phone, and then I see a message come in, and I'm just doing it, right? So we learned that, and with bowling, we started thinking about it, is it's okay if the public comes in and uses your device. But you kind of, when you expect them to interact with your attraction, to use their own device for your attraction, there's going to be, it's not really the right experience, right? So when mobile ordering is different because that's offering a service, right? That you can skip the line and do whatever. But when it comes to an attraction, we feel that we should be providing the device. And then this allows us now, when we have the iPads, it automatically dispenses balls and things like that, where it'll allow us to now fill the square footage with an attraction. That's fun, that's good for everyone. But it allowed us now to move forward with all this great stuff we're talking about now. If we put an attraction in that was like 3-4 people to operate and was a lot of wear and tear and maintenance, your cognitive overhead for operating the business is a lot higher and more complicated to run the place. So if you're in that situation and things are really tough to operate, you're just like, you can't move on to the next thing. So it's really important as you're moving forward, it's really easy to do because then it becomes more repeatable.
Give me some effects. Give me some back. I can give me some effects.
The logistics behind making that mini golf was a nightmare. There's 136,000 pounds of theming there. And this is all steel and concrete. What's heavier, right? What you might not notice is there's a castle. And what good is a castle if you can't go in it? So that castle, you can go in it. Once the second floor is finished, you might notice there's a ramp that goes into the castle. You can walk out to the end of the castle, do the Rapunzel thing, and make the castle. We had to have that. Now, the automatic scoring, Mr. Hummel over here, Jeff is a licensed Apple developer, and he has done all of the Apple software solutions within the building. We have a creative team to do the physical stuff. We build it. Jeff actually makes it work. For instance, the chandelier you see here was made in-house, and at least 50% of all the theming here is made in-house with our creative team. We have a CNC operation, welding shop, and electronics. So we try to do stuff. It's easy to go to IAPA, and I assume you know what IAPA is. That's where they sell all this stuff. If you just go there and buy stuff that everybody else can buy, then you're just going to be like everybody else. What makes us special? So we're going to really try to make things extra special here in a theming kind of way that makes whatever the people buy look boring, even though we bought it from the same company. Anyway, go back, Jeff.
Okay. Any other questions?
Maybe did you?
Oh, I just had a comment about your bumper cars. They are the most fun bumper cars I've ever been on. I'm not a bumper car fan.
Yeah.
Once you get the hang of it, lasts for the whole time.
And that's the first bumper cars you get airtime.
And those bumper cars have been going since 1996, I think.
Thanks for picking that scale. But anyway, bumper cars were the first foray into alternate forms of entertainment. They were actually behind lanes 6 and 7. We put them in a room back there. My wife and I, because he was really little at the time, we put them in there and we thought, let's try something different. And nobody used them. So I started to ask people, don't like bumper cars? What's going on? It was $2 we were charging, right? Well, we didn't save $2 for this, and we didn't have enough time. So I thought they were just trying to make me feel good, right? About 6 months later, they started to catch on. Then we found out, and to your comment, why you get air. Why you get air is because we spend a lot of time and energy to tune them up every single week. If a car is not working well, we have spares, and at the end there's a room. We open the door, we roll that sucker out, and it gets them off. When they don't perform, you don't get to use them. So that's why those bumper cars, RDC bumper cars, are all over the place. So if you love bumper cars, you would have had to have ridden them somewhere at one time or another. So,
Well, I didn't until now. Now I love them.
but you can, just like you own a car, you can take care of it or you can run it into the ground. The choice is yours, right? But ultimately, it's actually cheaper if you take care of your stuff. It doesn't have this much of a horrendous breakdown when time catches up with you.
There was a white one that was not functioning.
Well, it's coming up.
Yeah.
That was not my first experience.
We almost never get through a weekend with them all working. Never.
Yeah,
Because they
but
take incredible abuse.
Yeah, by the end of the weekend, 2 will be down, probably 2 to 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then we spend all week rebuilding up and getting ready for the weekend again.
There's definitely a worthwhile addition this year to have that with the coaster, because that way not everybody was just waiting in line for
Yeah.
we split. And I mean, it
So
was
much fun.
great. Everybody got the coaster and the bumper cars are right there being convenient.
Yeah.
It was definitely a fantastic addition to it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You had a question?
Yeah, I think you briefly mentioned the Himalaya. So is the plan to rebuild that once you do the second part of the expansion?
So we kept it. We think so. Most likely bringing it back. The only reason I'm not saying yes or no for sure is, what if there's an amazing new flat ride that comes out and you're like, we need to have it, right? And then if this comes out and you're like, then I need it, right? So we all need it, right? So it's kind of like that's the mindset. If nothing greater comes out, then we'll keep it. If something better comes out, then I'll be like, Dad, I think this is better. Literally how it goes.
Some of the classics, though.
Yeah.
He's 100% right for the wrong reason. The Himalaya ride, over the years, we actually got that used when we were broke at an auction in Schaumburg, that's just outside of Chicago. And we brought it up, gave it some love, rebuilt it, and we made it as good as new. Like I mentioned earlier, somebody owned it and ran it into the ground, so it was worth nothing. That Himalaya ride is worth something, and a lot of our customers thought that was a roller coaster. Little kids, they would say they want to go on a roller coaster. So, you know, it has some merit. Jeff is exactly right. As a example of it, we put in the Speedway ride, and it took over for another ride, which was Mini Jets, thank you. And indoor space is very valuable, and we know now as a company, there are times when if it's not performing, it needs to go. Even though it might be making money, it's not a good customer experience and something better has to go there. We're not sure if the Himalaya is that ride, but we don't have anything to replace it with yet. I personally love coasters because most people won't hurl when they ride them.
Yeah.
But a lot of those rides go around and around and around, and I have to tell you what happens next. So I would love to have some more rides that don't go around in circles all the time, but damn guys, there's just not much out there that fits the bill other than a drop tower, but we have one of them, which we're replacing by the way, but I'm not going to say any more about that because I
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, there's some flat rides we're looking at, but it's all about what's the best thing. Himalaya's 31 feet in diameter with the fencing, roughly about that.
36 with the fence.
36 with the fence. So it takes up quite a large square footage. So I mean, if there's a ride that does comparable thrills, and I'm looking at like a 20-foot diameter, right? That's significant savings on square footage, and I can put a second ride in. So that's also part of the formula. It's kind of like what fits the best, right? And then like the Speedway attraction, that's more of a rectangle as opposed to a circle. Circles on an indoor facility really mess up the floor plan. So yeah, we'll see. Opportunity will come up. Yes.
What's going on with the Kronos ride?
Kronos is working fantastically. I just had a little bit of the brake pad break, and I just had to get a replacement piece. So they sent some stuff in, and they forgot one thing. So putting it back together yesterday with spare parts, and they forgot to ship something.
That ride is the first in North America. So when we order a part, they have a freak out because they don't have any parts because it's a new ride.
So that's come from Italy, and it comes overseas, and it takes a bit. So it just, everything's working on it, just the brake pad was going on it, so I had to replace it, and then so we take it all apart to get it replaced, to do proper maintenance, and it's like, oh, yep, we'll send it out, and then it's Friday, we're like, we just got it today, and unfortunately, it wasn't ready for today, sorry. Hopefully that Monday, Tuesday,
Nebulous,
I just want to see it running.
it looks fantastic. I love that ride. And thrill-wise, Soleil is not the best, like in terms of thrill. Like, it's not going to compare to a coaster. But you can be on lane 52. The lighting package and the way it moves the kinetic energy when you're feeling at this end of the building, down there, like it draws you down there. It's such a good way to move traffic and people around the building, and it adds energy. I love it for that reason alone. And
by the way, the roller coaster is first, second, or third every week.
yeah.
As old as it is,
Since,
still right up there.
Yeah, since we put in better attractions, mostly the Speedway. Speedway in the last year has made the biggest difference to the company in terms of rides and the Chronos as well. It's balanced our attractions a lot more. We know from the arcade, if you have an arcade game that's #1 by a mile, most people would say that game's amazing, you can never get rid of that game. We've learned over time, it's like, your customers are kind of telling you the rest of your games are shit if that's happening. Pardon my French. And so the same thing was happening with the rides. Like everyone's playing, going on the drop tower right away. We're just like, drop tower is a must-have ride. And then we're looking at it like, is it a must-have ride, or could we use some work on our other rides to bring up their quality, right? And that's the case. My dad wants to know, ask you guys a question. What kind of attraction or ride would you be most interested in?
Well, Loop and Wacky were 100%.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the Visas, I think they have one that has like the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel is epic.
We kind of have like a family rule right now, is that don't flip the customers upside down, because we don't want, if we're not in the building, I don't want to have to call the staff to call the fire department to get them out. Right? So if there was a catastrophic failure, right, where they got stuck upside down.
That'd be fun for coaster enthusiasts. That's the biggest dream because
It's surprisingly, those things are surprisingly intense.
I know.
Yes, they are.
Have you been on one?
So I saw it on Apple, and there was a lineup, and I was like, I don't want to wait an hour and waste an hour of my trade show time, waiting in line.
It doesn't look like much, but after experiencing one, I'm like,
I could
whoa,
imagine.
that's intense.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
A friend of mine at Airway in Kalamazoo, Michigan, they so theirs is an outdoor Visa spinning coaster, and they put the hamster wheel in, and they seem as pretty popular.
In Michigan, was that near Michigan's Adventure, kind of like about an hour-ish away? Because if so, that's the one we went on.
Kalamazoo, you said.
It's Kalamazoo, so I'm not too sure where you're sitting.
Kalamazoo.
That's south of it.
Oh, okay, so it's all right.
My Michigan geography isn't the best. And then at CJ Barrymore's, Rick put in a spinning coaster last year, but he didn't put the hamster wheel in.
No.
Because they've been having some maintenance issue with the hamster wheel now, where it does get stuck. Not necessarily upside down, but it's been, so they said their next version was better, but I haven't investigated it since because it kind of scared us off.
Yeah, that's fair.
The issue with the hamster wheel is because it uses a friction plate. When that ride goes around to a certain point, it hits the friction plate, and it's like a jet airplane landing. When it hits the ground, there's a lot of squealing going on, and a lot of friction, and of course a lot of heat. So what happened was, it's impossible to get the same effect all the time.
Right.
You adjust it today, and tomorrow it's worn down to the point where it's hardly moving again, and it just, they have to find a better way to spin the darn wheel because it's not effective the way they're doing it.
Cool.
Yeah, so basically when it gets to a certain point, which you probably don't understood, it just bangs off this plate to spin it. So need to get something that's a little bit better. They said they were working on it, so I'll circle back once we get a bit closer.
So what coaster do you want?
My bad.
Will it fit?
Outside somewhere.
Always do a mini version of it.
Yeah. There's we'll start with the one we're getting at.
Should we keep the one we have and get another one? Or
Yes,
just change it up?
keep it.
Keep it.
Spare Time Express is so charming.
It's
So
a
much
wonderful
fun.
ride. I mean, the miners are a popular ride. They always, there are a lot of parks like it. You guys
It's so fun.
took that one from the depths of the dead, really, and rebuilt it the way it is. So it's been,
We got that out of the Jeepers in the tri-state area. The Jeepers chain bought one for every one of their locations, which was
13 at the time, and they all went bankrupt, and a few of them were staff run after the fact, and that's what this one was. So it went another couple of years before they also went bust. And when I finally got there to take it out with my brother-in-law, it was raining inside there, the roof was caving in, and it was a hell of a mess. But we got it, put it into a semi, drove back really fast to beat the truck. And we put it into 3 sea containers for 2 years while we built a mezzanine to suit it. And that's what you're running on today. Because we were flat busted and we had to do something.
Well, it was a good choice.
We experienced it last year, and we all got good rides on it. It's a
Yeah.
coaster. I mean,
I like the Camelbacks. It's got some.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's missing with a friction coaster. You can't do Camelbacks with a friction coaster. It's only a gravity coaster you can do Camelbacks and stuff like that. So there is something to be said for a traditional coaster as opposed to a friction coaster. Friction coasters you can get some horizontal movement.
Yeah.
You can't do with a gravity coaster. So having one of each may give us an advantage.
Yeah, yes. It comes down to square footage, that's my problem. And it's kind of like, again, if there's better flat rides, you could fit 2 or 3 flat rides in that area, and it's kind of like, you won't curl.
If you guys are ever looking for like any coaster suggestions, something I think would do really well is something like a mini family launch coaster, so something like a mini Big Bear Mountain.
Oh, like small Vekoma.
Like a little.
I don't know if a launch coaster would work well indoors here. It will have to be a custom launch.
Yep.
It would have to go with areas where we're not using stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be tough. Not impossible. I mean, anything's possible. It's just, I don't know.
Would you ever consider expanding outdoors? Like maybe not in the near future, but has it ever been something you've looked at?
So right now, when it comes to what we offer at NEB'S and what we're doing, what we just discussed on the second level in the ride room, fixing up the coaster, stuff like that, our current infrastructure can handle all that, mainly parking spots and things like that. Now, if we wanted to, taking the next step will require major investment in the terms of we'll need more parking spots, we'll need more stuff like this to be able to do things. You know what I mean? I'll need more land. So to go past this, to do an outdoor park with it would be, we'd have to get creative, which isn't impossible.
Parks revolve around what we call the gate. How many people come through the turnstiles, in our case doors, every year? Anyone have any idea how many people come through our doors each year? If you want to guess, guess. If you don't want to guess, I'm going to tell you.
100,000.
500,000 a year. In order to make what you want to do, we'll have to have a gate significantly larger, like upwards of 1 million, because not everybody will ride a launch coaster or that. So you have to look at your percentages, so that if you brought in 1 million people and 20% said, I have to do that, then I could totally make that pay. But if 20% of the 500 want to do it, it doesn't pay. So you have to give us the opportunity to get better, because we think that with Mansion Theater, Mansion Adventures, and the expansion of the other side, we think that we could bump up with the seasonal on that another 20% on our bottom line, and we're getting close. So I think all things have to happen in due time and when you're mature enough to pull it off.
So yeah, we have to know who we are as well. We're not putting in like an Alpine Fury tomorrow. There's no point going after that type of market. I mean, they do what they do great, right? Still don't like the fact that there's Six Flags now. As a personal enthusiast myself, I'm a little bit worried about that.
Tell them where you're going next week.
I got an epic preview thing, so I'm going next week. So,
Nice.
Yes, we're nerds.
You're allowed to be nerds.
You're among nerds.
Why are you not an ACE member yet? Why are you not an ACE member yet?
I don't know. I just kind of me and my wife just randomly. He's
I
watching
think
our
some
kids
people
for a
who
couple
can give you
days.
some information.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but Wonderland. We gotta just know. We gotta stay in our lane, and what we do extremely well. So we're gonna keep moving in that direction. And if we did outdoors, we'd spend followed some ideas already about how we can differentiate ourselves already. But yeah, we know what can be done, but we gotta, I think we have a very good chance of hitting a home run with this next expansion on the second level. And since we're a family-run business, we get one shot or we have to make it work and then sell it to the rest of the family. So if we fail on this one, we're definitely not going to be able to sell the next one to everyone. Like my wife, my mom, and Angela, my sister. So it's kind of like we got to make sure we have a winner here and before we even think about the next one, even though we're planning on this one.
I was just wondering, because I did go on your playground once, and I wish adults could go in it because it makes us feel way younger. I'm just giving tips. It's that much fun. The slides
right here.
are the best.
Oh, let's spin on those.
I think the adults want it because we don't want to see the jet.
Yes.
That was just installed and it's been awesome.
Can we do
Bailey's
it?
super
We would
excited.
have to do something when I don't have the rest of the public inside the building.
Yeah.
So maybe can we request that for next year?
Pardon?
That's good if you want to know the details on the area.
Yeah. So the airplane was all my dad's idea. We just
Cool.
Bailey's really excited that's
went
back.
to the
That's ready.
manufacturer and challenged them and said that I wanted a plane like the Madagascar movie where it's crashed. So you notice there's trees on it and stuff like that. We put things like that all over the place of building on purpose because it dovetailed into seasonal theming. So the plane allowed us to do some great theming and also bring the seasonal in it. And now we kind of wanted something where the kids are like, I want to go to the place with the airplane, right, to the playground. We needed a landmark. Everyone knows, like in Pickering, you got like that spaceship park, right? So if you got a spaceship park in Pickering, I mean, what does NEB'S have? You know, they got the indoor airplane place, right? So we kind of wanted to associate that with that.
I had to laugh when you guys first posted, hey, the plane is in. There's a picture of the plane being put in, and the people on Facebook, some of them,
Oh, yeah.
the comments, someone saying, there's a hole in the side, people are going to fall in. I just read these. Really? It's a hole in the side? Like,
You should see my DMs from people sometimes. Especially like when we do anything that's remotely controversial, like it's like hate mail. It's like
What happened when we took the go-karts out?
oh my god.
Oh.
Like I pretty much because I do a lot of it myself and like I pretty much stopped posting for about a month because I couldn't handle people anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're vicious and it's like man because like we know go-karts are great but it's the dust. The dust is like try running a coaster or a theater environment and stuff like that, eating with all that dust in the air, right? So when your go-karts start getting more popular and more runs on your track, you're gonna start having that soot all over the place, right? That's why like good go-kart places, especially in the States, kind of like on Andretti's and stuff like that, they'll have it in a glass room. They'll have their own air ventilation systems and things like that, right? Because they know this is a problem. You can't have a premier entertainment facility and have it dirty all the time. So we knew exactly. So it's kind of like right. So you can tell people who know what they're doing and not doing just based on that. And
And the cost. We had to charge the customers.
yeah, and we didn't want to start charging people $20, $30 to go on boats. Because bottom line, like we built them ourselves. So that's why we're going to keep the price at like $8 a race. So Dad built them, aluminum frames, kept the curve rate really low so we weren't busting frames. And it ran really well for 23 years, but we got to the point now where we needed to completely either build them from scratch again or go buy new ones. And as soon as we start buying new ones, there's the J&J carts, they're curve weight, they're all steel, so they're just crazy heavy. Yeah, we would have definitely had to take out all the attractions above the go-karts. So the Miley coaster would have been gone, the bumper cars. We took out the dark ride, but no opportunity for above that room there. It would have been a dedicated go-kart building, so we could do proper air ventilation and everything like that. So not only would we be having to charge $20, $30 a race, then we would also have to sacrifice all the attractions above it. So you can see why we chose what we did. So get rid of it, put mini putt in the meantime, let us operate, so we can actually work on the real plane and replace it.
Absolutely the right decision.
That's what we think as well. But people are
They want what they want.
exactly.
They can't change your mind.
And it's how do you explain that to somebody, right? So you have a plan that we worked on for years, and we sit there and it's like you can't have like this kind of intimate conversation, but people online like on a forum kind of thing, right? Because one, someone will hijack the thread and just going crazy, or you know what I mean, or you just don't have enough time to get your point across. So we're doing what we're doing. One, do you guys approve? Two, if there's anything that you could see us tweaking, things like that, and obviously along the way, we're adding new games and stuff all the time. I have 2 games on order right now.
Just don't get rid of the Willy Wonka game. That actually is too addicting.
So what I was thinking about, there's an ELOUT version of Wizard of Oz. They got a new one called Emerald City. So maybe get that one. But right now we're in a tariff situation when it comes to games. I just have to make sure we're not paying 25% more across the border. So right now it's on pause. So
The game is the top 5.
yeah, it's on the soon to buy list. Let's say got upgraded.
Okay, then I'll be here every day. Okay, good, because I hogged that game a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you just brought up like the tariff situation there, so I want to know like how is the whole like tariff situation like affecting the operations or future plans here at NEBs?
So in the interim, like the immediate future, all the thieving's built in Canada. Triotech's also a Canadian company, and their sister manufacturing companies in France. We already have tariff situations with Europe. They're already charging us on it, so that's always been an issue with them. But right now, I'm just double checking when I have a game on order right now coming from Ice in Buffalo. I'm just double checking the tariff. I don't think the games have a tariff right now. Currently, anything that's Kuzma, so that's Kuzma, that's the current free trade agreement between Canada, United States, and Mexico. Everything that was Kuzma exempt prior is still Kuzma exempt. It's my understanding that it's just steel, aluminum, and partial auto industry that's tariff. So right now, fingers crossed, I think I'm good for short term.
With the Trumponomics, if I can call it that, the true challenge will be how many of our customers will still be working and have enough money to come here. The cost of operation, we've always been able to circumvent by doing a lot of work ourselves. We certainly did that during COVID. We did major projects. All of our full-time staff were given the opportunity to continue to work here while we were closed to do construction, and we laid off the construction people. So we're prepared to dig in and do what's necessary to do all we can in-house so we don't have to worry about that. And again, my concern is, will you and the rest of the customers be able to afford to come here? I think you will, because I think a lot of staycations are going to be in our future. So as a regional place, and hopefully keep our appearance and fun up, that we'll do well and we'll be able to do more in the future for the park.
Cool. So all good. We have backup plans. We've talked about it, so we have contingencies, and we're happy with the direction of the company in the future. Unless anyone has any other questions, I think that's it. Yeah.
Where did the installation company train team for like this room work?
So for this room, my dad actually just likes trains. He just likes trains. So we used to have a train. I don't know if you remember that went through the building before. It was a miniature train that went through. So we've always had a little bit of a train influence inside the building.
I learned something about the human condition many years ago. Just like fishing, they follow the lure. There's nothing more potent than a themed object that moves. And I think that there's a great nostalgic feel among most people when they see a train go over their head. Brings back all kinds of fond memories. And even my grandkids, they think it's the thrill of the year to get on the Via train or GO train to go see a game in Toronto or something. So I felt strongly that making something move was something, and if I could tie that to something nostalgic, and that's where trains came in. We had G-scale trains around the building, but the company went bankrupt and a Chinese company took over, and the quality of the train was not what you call a continuous duty situation. So although I want to bring them back on a chain drive and not worry about the poor mechanics, I think that I'd like to make more things move and more things enjoyable. And if there's other things, I even had some cable cars for a while, So as much as I love that, I mean, I'm more in love with making stuff animated.
So now he just wants to put a real thing. So that you
I
can
can't help myself.
Are there any other questions?
All right. Thanks everybody for coming.